Sometimes I wonder, what if Shakespeare was like secretly a genius? Okay, obviously he was brilliant, but what if he was using magic and humor to like sneak in these deep ideas about life and love?
Whoa, that's a pretty out there thought. But you know what? It's not actually that crazy when you really think about A Midsummer Night's Dream. I mean, the play is all about the unexpected, right? The hilarious, the magical, but there's definitely a lot to think about underneath it all.
You're ready to dive into this Shakespearean whirlwind, and we are here for it.
Totally. And the best part is we don't have to read like every single line of the play, We're going to hit the highlights, the aha moments that make it all click.
Okay, so let's jump in. We're in Athens, right? A big fancy wedding is about to happen, which, let's be real, is always a recipe for some serious drama. Especially when you've got four young people totally hung up on love.
Exactly. We've got Hermia, Lysander, Helena, and Demetrius. And remember, this is Shakespeare's time we're talking about. Women were expected to, well, let's just say they weren't exactly encouraged to speak their minds.
You mean they couldn't just say no to some guy their father picked out for them?
Pretty much. But Hermia, she's different. She completely refuses to marry the guy her dad wants her to marry. She's in love with Lysander, and she's not backing down, which obviously causes a whole lot of chaos.
She's like the original rebel. That's where the whole feminist angle comes in, right? But she's not the only one with love problems. All four of them are kind of obsessed with it, to be honest. Is that where the whole forest thing comes in?
It's their escape, their chance to get away from all the drama and try to find some peace and quiet. But the thing is, this isn't your average forest. It's ruled by Oberon and Titania, the king and queen of the fairies.
Oh, right. And they're not your average cuddly fairies either. They're powerful, magical beings, and they're kind of terrifying.
Yeah, they're more like forces of nature, and they are locked in this huge fight, a power struggle.
Wait, why are they fighting?
It's all over this changeling child, a human child that Oberon, the fairy king, wants for himself. And that's the thing about them, their power. It impacts everyone and everything around them.
So they're fighting, and the lovers are caught in the middle of it. Plus, there's a royal wedding happening. This is getting complicated.
Oh, it gets even more complicated.
Yeah.
Because then you've got the love potion, which is just classic Shakespearean humor. Right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the love potion.
Right. So Puck, Oberon's mischievous little jester, he's got this love potion, and his job is to use it to make Demetrius fall in love with Helena.
Let's see if he can turn this love triangle into a slightly less messy love square. I am ready for the drama.
Oh, this is just the beginning. We've got fairy magic, a love potion gone wrong, and let's not forget about Bottom, the weaver who dreams of being an actor. Things are about to get wild.
So, last time we were talking about love potions and mischievous fairies and a whole lot of confusion. I feel like we need a recap or maybe a roadmap. Where do we even go from here?
Well, it's like this. The love potion that Puck was supposed to use on Demetrius, well, let's just say things don't exactly go according to plan.
You mean he messes it up?
Let's just say there's a reason Puck is known for being mischievous. Instead of making Demetrius fall head over heels for Helena, he accidentally makes Lysander fall for her instead.
Oh no. Talk about a recipe for disaster, or maybe a really complicated love pentagon.
Right. But here's where Shakespeare takes it to another level. He uses this whole love potion mishap to explore this really interesting theme of dreams versus reality.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's like because they're in this magical forest, the lines between what's real and what's just a dream, they kind of start to blur, don't they? They're falling in love, but is it real love or is it just the potion messing with their heads?
Exactly. And just when you think things couldn't get any weirder, that's when Bottom shows up.
Bottom, the weaver. The guy who wants to be an actor.
One and only. He's determined to put on this play. And, well, let's just say it's more comedic than he probably intends.
I can only imagine. So you've got these characters stumbling around in the forest trying to figure out who they're in love with, and then you've got Bottom trying to be all serious and dramatic with his play.
It's pure Shakespearean comedy. But what's really fascinating is that he's not just making fun of theater. He's also celebrating it at the same time.
How so?
Well, think about it this way. He's showing us how powerful theater can be, how it can make us believe in anything, even if it seems impossible or ridiculous. Just like with Bottom and his friends, they're putting on this play within a play, and even though it's supposed to be a tragedy, it ends up being hilarious.
So he's saying that even tragedies can have humor in them.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of Shakespeare. He takes these really complex ideas, these big emotions, and he finds a way to make us laugh at them, to see the humor and the absurdity in it all, which, let's be honest, is kind of like real life, isn't it?
Totally. So we've got these lovers trying to find their way back to each other, and Bottom's play is well underway. What happens next? Does everyone make it out of the forest in one piece?
Well, you'll have to stay tuned for that. But I can tell you, things are about to get even more interesting.
Okay, so we left off with the play within a play, and let's be honest, sometimes real life can feel like a play within a play too, right? But I'm dying to know how this all wraps up. Does everyone get a happy ending? Do they even make it out of the woods?
Well, eventually, the magic of the forest starts to fade, the love potion wears off, and everyone wakes up back in Athens like a strange dream. It's like Shakespeare is saying, hey, even when things get crazy, even when we're under a spell, eventually we have to wake up and deal with reality.
And in reality, there's a wedding to attend, right? The big royal wedding we've been hearing about this whole time.
Exactly. And you know what's fascinating? Our source material mentions that A Midsummer Night's Dream might have actually been written for a wedding. Imagine that, watching this play about the ups and downs of love, with all its confusion and laughter, as a celebration of a real-life marriage.
That's amazing. It makes you see the play in a whole new light, doesn't it? It's like Shakespeare saying, look, love can be messy, it can be confusing, but in the end, it's something to celebrate.
Right. And let's not forget about those final lines delivered by Puck himself. He tells the audience to think of the play as nothing more than a dream. It's brilliant, really. He leaves us wondering, did any of it really happen? Or was it all just a figment of our imaginations?
Talk about a cliffhanger. So what does it all mean? What's the takeaway for someone who wants to sound super smart about Shakespeare?
I think the beauty of A Midsummer Night's Dream is that it doesn't give us easy answers. It invites us to laugh at the absurdity of it all, to question what's real and what's not, and to embrace the magic that exists in both our dreams and our waking lives. Just like Hermia, who dared to defy expectations, Shakespeare challenges us to think for ourselves and to find our own interpretations.
That's a great point. It's like he's giving us permission to be playful, to see the humor in our own lives, even when things get complicated. But if you were directing this play today, how would you bring that message to life for a modern audience?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, I think setting it in the world of online dating could be really interesting. Imagine Oberon and Titania as algorithms manipulating matches and creating all sorts of romantic chaos. Puck could be this mischievous hacker swiping left and right, causing all sorts of misunderstandings.
I love that. And instead of a play within a play, maybe Bottom and his friends could be trying to film a viral video, but everything keeps going wrong.
Exactly. It would be hilarious to see them trying to be serious and dramatic while surrounded by all this tech-fueled romantic mayhem. It would be a great way to explore those timeless themes of love, illusion, and the power of dreams in a way that feels totally relatable to today's world.
This has been amazing. I feel like I've learned so much. I'm ready to impress everyone with my Shakespeare knowledge now.
Me too. It's amazing how even after centuries, A Midsummer Night's Dream still has the power to enchant, to challenge, and to make us think about the world in new and unexpected ways.
And that, my friend, is a wrap on our deep dive into A Midsummer Night's Dream. We hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have. Remember, whether it's Shakespeare or your own life, don't be afraid to embrace a little magic and find the humor in the unexpected. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep the conversation going.